Word Archived Series. War on the Ascension, Part 5, The Mystery of the Archangel. 2 of 2. The Bible is full of mysteries, the Archangel Michael is one of them. There isn't enough personal information about him besides the fact that he is sent by God, and he is on top of the angelic hierarchy. This leaves us with a blank page concerning who this person could be. The whole universe is wrapped around in a cosmic repetitive pattern. According to this pattern, God only creates once, what follows thereafter are duplicates or copies of the original. It's always the same old system, just a change in minor details such as appearance and time of occurrence. A perfect example is the gap theory. The gap theory states that the earth was made beautiful in its original state, then chaos corrupted its beauty. In that moment, Elohim rebuilt the same earth, using the same concept and the same materials. This meant that, what was, is and will be, are one and the same. There's nothing new here on earth, not now or ever, unless Elohim himself intervenes. Another pattern that has itself wrapped around the history of the universe, man and their creation is what I call shadows and shadowing. Shadows and shadowing is more familiar to the Bible and other religious cultures. Shadows and shadowing is where God presents something likened to what will come in the future to his audience. In other words, under this concept, Elohim's audience are given a shadow, a glimpse, clue or hint of what will come. This is done because of various reasons, and 2 of these reasons are, to avoid time tempering and to protect the asset. God has set all events to happen according to their respective timelines. This means that one event shouldn't overlap or interfere with another event from taking place. Meanwhile, with protecting the asset, it's done so as to prevent the wicked ones from intervening in Elohim's plans. The mystery of the Archangel rests in the lane of the shadows and shadowing pattern. This means that we were first introduced to a replica of the original, or we can say that what we saw was the shadow of the caster. Christ and the Archangel Michael are one and the same. Right now when we look at him, we see 2 individuals who are separated by different timelines and locations, and yet they are the same. Reasons that made them to look different have been discussed before. Another one is simply because humanity expected a more glorious and fear-inspiring person. As such, when he came, we ignored, insulted and chased him away. Nonetheless, let's look at a bit of the similarities those 2 had. It's said that the Archangel is the most powerful angel, and that he commands all the heavenly army besides God. Guess who has all the power over all creation and the heavenly army when he was crucified, raised and ascended to heaven? Jesus. Even Jesus himself plainly said that he was there before Abraham was. They also say that if Jesus was to fall from a life-threatening height, angels would come down in a blink of an eye and rescue him. And he brought him to Jerusalem, and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down from hence, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. And Jesus answering said unto him, It is said, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Luke 4, 9-12. Yes, the person who the heavenly hosts came to his rescue when he was under threat as a child, Jesus. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. And he arose, and took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. Matthew 2:19-21. According to Bible scholars, the Archangel was as God and a chief prince to his people. Christ was God manifested in the flesh, a prince born to his own people and given power rule over them. The Archangel also had territorial dominance over the land of Israel. He could negotiate with other territorial princes surrendering the land of Israel. However, the land outside Israel belonged to territorial gods, wicked rulers. These gods received their power to rule a long time ago. And Yahweh confirmed their governance on earth, but pronounced a future judgment against them. This means that not until that day, these territories outside Israel was and is still theirs. This was why Jesus' ministry was centered mainly on the people of Israel and their land. This land was worthy before Yahweh, but the lands outside Israel were contaminated with wickedness, sin and rebellion. In the New Testament, when the blood touched the ground as Christ was crucified on the cross, it purified the ground, it sanctified it. The blood literally shook the foundations of the earth and all territorial powers. This allowed the chief prince of Israel to extend his territorial governance over enemy territories, and extend his governance he did. Jesus further added by sending his disciples, as his generals to colonized enemy territories. The enemy was left shocked. They thought killing him would cover their territorial governance over the entire world. Unfortunately, little did they know that they were establishing their defeat. Their defeat was already sealed even before Jesus was born. King David saw it. He described those gods as many strong bulls of Bashan. Many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me round. They gaped upon me with their mouths, as a ravening and a roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, it is melted in the midst of my bowels. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws, and thou hast brought me into the dust of death. For dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me, they pierced my hands and my feet. Psalms 22:12-16. Unlike other territories, the chief prince of Israel was only one, surrounded by strong wicked princes. Wicked gods are bulls of Bashan. These wicked and strong bulls of Bashan knew who Christ was. They knew that the so-called Michael was Jesus, and that he was the revealed Son of God, and ruler of not just Israel but the entire world. If his enemies knew who the chief prince was, why didn't his people acknowledge Christ being the archangel? Well, honestly speaking, if you expect too much, you will definitely be disappointed. His people expected him to have riches, be cruel to his enemies, to come riding on a horse, to come restoring dried up lands, to remove hunger and diseases. They expected him to be glorious and command fear in the sight of his subjects like those other princes of foreign lands. They envied the princes of foreign lands to the extent that when Jesus came, they plainly rejected him. They even dared, by taking him to a cliff to kill him, but he looked at them, turned and walked away. Jesus, the Son of God and the rightful ruler of his people, and the Archangel Michael, shadowed in the old days, the chief prince of Israel and its defender. These individuals were one and the same. They looked different simply because, his people expected him to be like the princes of those other foreign and corrupt lands. Their envy, jealous and expectations overcrowded their sense of judgment. It split the history of their king into two different persons. They rejected the kind and caring person, rejected his cure for suffering, thirst and hunger. Instead, they ran after the past person of himself, the one who would immediately punish them when they abandoned his word. The one who would abandon them for years in the hands of the enemy. They rejected the one who came to give them peace and rest, and accepted the one who made them wander the wilderness for 40 years. They rejected the one who brought the dead back to life, and accepted the one who would kill thousands of their own in one day. O great and powerful King, chief prince of all the princes of the earth and beyond. You were among them, but they chose to forget you. They chose to make you a mystery, a legend, a myth, a fable. Please subscribe, like, comment and share. Your support will be highly appreciated.